I get shit done, I have fun, it's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
From chaos to clarity, the three-piece system behind profitable, people-first firms. Gotta love that, right? Welcome to another episode of the Business Renovator. I'm your host, Coach Phil. If you're watching us live, thank you for being here today with us. And if you're not able to watch us live and catching us on a replay, remember #replay. Remember to share, like, and comment. That helps us get more ears and eyes on what we talk about. You just never know what one message from one of the guests that I have over the years is going to have an impact on somebody that you've shared this with. Unbeknownst to you, I was listening to some things this morning and I was reminded about some of the feedback that others who I've never met, probably never will, and the value they got out of it. And they were being grateful to the person that introduced them to the Business Renovator. And that was like in the 2020 world. So it's gotten better because I've been able to attract better guests. I have a wonderful guest today. He's going to share some things around chaos to clarity. I'm excited about having him here. So without further ado, I'm going to plug myself because it's what I do to help get value for you as a viewer, as well as a bit of a description as to what we do here. Let me make sure I push the right button. It's true. Just for being a viewer watching it now or #replay, let us know that you caught our show and go to the coachphil.ca website. On the top right-hand corner, as you look at the screen, there's a button there for your business growth score assessment, something that will help you identify whether you're right on target or if there's room for improvement. And you can just use that and work on it, buy a book, watch a podcast, or book a 30-minute complimentary coaching session with me. No strings attached, no credit card required, just for watching the show and sharing it out. Happy to help people along the way. You just never know what might happen. Anyway, this show today is from chaos to clarity, the 3P system behind profitable people first firms. I really like that. People first is the key. So my guest, Paul Roy, is the founder of Profitable Practice Pro and a trusted coach to accounting and professional service firm owners across North America. With over 30 years of business ownership and leadership experience, Paul helps overworked firm owners turn their practices into profitable people-first businesses without sacrificing faith, family, or weekends. Known as the firm whisperer, that's a lot of ers, but that's what he is. He brings a calm, strategic voice to chaotic firms, aligning people, processes, and profits, so owners can lead with clarity and purpose and probably live the life that they only dreamt about until they met him. So let me bring up my friend, Paul. There he is. Hello, handsome.
Hello, Phil. Great to see you.
Great to be seen.
Yeah.
Your colors are much better than mine today. That's
I'm
the way.
always happy. I'm always happy if there's a boat somewhere in the screen or in my eye of vision. But anyway.
Yeah, no kidding, right? No kidding. I was on a boat in Boston a little bit ago, but it didn't really sail. It was motorboat powered. But it was anyway. I digress. So, what's the best thing that's happened to you since the last time we talked?
Oh my goodness. Changing things up. It's a lot of changed in the way that we market our services and how we communicate with people, how we get our our values across to our audience, and done some tweaking and realigning, and just launching my new peaceful profit session for professional firm owners who don't want to come in and take a long-term commitment. I don't want this to look like an advertisement, but basically get to test drive me for a modest fee to solve the biggest problem they have. So I've really just launched that this week. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
And anything new like that, there's a lot of elbow grease in the background that people don't recognize. So kudos to you for doing that for the world.
Change is good. Isn't that what we do as coaches? We help the people and the business owners we work with navigate change.
I think when we get on the other side of that, change is good. I think that's true. I think one of the things, though, about change is people don't like change. We have this thing I was told called the creative subconscious mind. It's like we have three minds: conscious, subconscious, and a creative subconscious. We don't really have three, ladies and gentlemen, but that if you think of it that way, uh, the creative subconscious job is to maintain sanity no matter what, keep us in our isness, which is the way it was taught to me. So if we don't change our habitual thinking, it will keep pulling us back to our set point. Like, and if you use a thermostat, if you set it between 68 and 72 Fahrenheit or 18 and 21 Celsius, if it's in that range, we're happy. It's our comfort zone, or our dead zone, as it's referred to in the HVAC space. And often what happens is we stay in that zone habitually without even thinking, unless we deliberately take a different step, different action, hire a coach, get a mentor, do something to help us out of that. Because we have this powerful thing. It'll even turn on things called creative avoidance. So we'll avoid the things that are uncomfortable, and we'll talk ourselves out of it. Won't realize we haven't reached to where we wanted to get to until, at the end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the year, we missed our boat, missed our goal, whatever. Anyway, I went on a rant. Thank you for that.
That's okay. Well, just you mentioned some things there that made me think of Brian Tracy, or you know, uh, somebody that I made a change in my life in terms of from his brief and Sunday afternoon read of Eat That Frog. We get busy doing the things we're comfortable with, and we rarely get to the things that we need to do to move our businesses or ourselves forward. And from that book, and I know from past experiences and conversations with you that Tracy is part of our past and what we've learned from, and that you can't get to do the easy stuff, the work in your business things, till after you do the work on your business thing. What can I do today to move my business forward?
Yeah.
You can't do the mundane things till you've done the move the business forward things. And that was the ABC or 1, 2, 3 rule that he had on your to-do list from
Yeah.
Eat Frog.
Yeah. That's a pretty powerful concept, that book. There's 21, I'll call them chapters, but it's his book. They are 21 of them. One of my favorite ones is when I came across that. Well, I didn't just come across this as part of what we do with the Focal Point World. We actually have a Eat That Frog program. It was game changing. I put together a program for a client of mine in the Ottawa region, and the ones that dove into it increased their sales. The other ones that really dove into it built a cottage, for example. So there was a frog that he wanted to get done, but until he made the committed decision to get it done and do all the things to get it done, he didn't. It wouldn't have happened. And anyway, it's been a gift for him and his family.
Yeah.
But the chapter that I liked, sorry to jump off there, I think it's chapter 16, but don't hold me to it, or point 16, creative procrastination. Who would have thought that Brian would be sanctioning and giving us a permission to creatively procrastinate? So to procrastinate on things that really don't add much value or don't move it, they might be fun to do, but they don't get us to the goals we said we want to get to.
Let's add a dash of drama to procrastination.
Yes.
Yeah. And I look at procrastination actually as a form, as an excuse of being a perfectionist. In other words, I can't put it forward till it's exactly right. And how often do we see that with our clients or prospective clients? I can't launch yet. I'm not ready. And that's part of their creative excuse
Yes,
not to move forward.
because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They're afraid.
Yeah. I was thinking when we talk about this self-awareness thing and um, the imposter syndrome, that we get, and we kind of go, oh, we've got projecting this on the outside, but on the inside, I've got these things, the limiting beliefs that hold me back. And it always reminds me of participating in a sporting event. When you run to the result boards, there's two things you look at. Where did I finish and who won? Never do they go, where did I finish and who came last? So, and likely is, if you did come last, you're likely the only one that knows. So what do you need to do to get up the list?
Mm. I've stuck this on. This is one of my resident banners that I have on my show. Sometimes it gets on the airwaves, sometimes it doesn't. But we were talking kind of like this. So is fear fantasized experience appearing real or false evidence appearing real, or face everything and rise? It's a choice, right? And what you just said is about the action.
Yeah.
People change happens by taking action,
Yeah.
right?
It's when we're, the goal setting process is that, we know that to succeed, you have to attach an emotion and you have to tell somebody else
Mm.
to help hold you accountable. And even by telling somebody else, even though we haven't asked them to be our accountability partner, the fact that we've said it out loud, then we've asserted the soft pressure on ourselves. By goodness, I said I'd do it. I better do it. Because the ones that we keep inside, we don't share. And the toughest promises to keep, if we don't say it out loud, are the ones we make to ourselves.
I'm going to add a caveat to that, though.
Go for
Be careful who you share your goals with. Some might accidentally, inadvertently take the wind out of your sail because they don't want to see you change because it's uncomfortable for them. So when you
it.
share it with somebody who's going to hold you to account, someone who's got your back and cheers you on is
Yeah.
important.
It's you bring up a great point because it's working with specializing in working with firm owners, especially accountants, who are so busy being technicians during the day that they often become the entrepreneur or the business owner when they go home at night and then put the kids to bed and they open the laptop and then they start, oh, I better do my own books. Oh, geez, I've got to hire that person, whatever.
Mm.
And they don't end up doing it. So they end up in the trap of just doing the being the technician. And so how do you do that? And so many of my clients, once we get going, realize that what I really needed was an accountability partner. But part of the success of the accountability partner is having the vision and the goals aligned so that they can do it. Because if you
Mm.
don't go through that process, with my longer term clients, for example, if they're not prepared to do a vision statement on why they do what they do and what's it for, and oh, I just might better have an exit strategy. Um, if they're not prepared to do that, I can't work with them. I won't work with them because you can't build a business a tactic at a time. You've got to have the vision, which produces the roadmap, which produces the action plan.
Yeah, you need a
And
foundation, right?
that's, yeah, there you go. We can call it what you will. Like foundation is a great form for it. And
Yeah.
it's, how much to build the house? Well, the house is 340,000, but if you want a foundation, it's 500,000. Oh,
Well, it's like this. I never thought of this until just at the moment. It's like the three little piggies running from the wolf, right? One builds that one out of hay and the huff and the puff, and he blows the house down. Another one builds
yeah,
it out of something else, blows that one down. The other one builds it with a brick. So depending on what your business is built on, helps determine the resiliency of it in the up and down conditions of a marketplace, because there is ebb and flow and up and down, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's often created especially for solopreneurs or smaller business owners, where they get into a sales cycle and they go, "Ooh," they bring some new people in, and now that the pressure's off and they've got the clients, and now they have to focus on the clients, but they take their foot off the growth of the marketing piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which is, you know, the same thing. This is how you get on the ebb and flow cycle, because it's, oh, I better focus on this. And we always end up where we focus on.
There's an opinion here that's kind of aligned with what we're talking about. Sell the vision, walk it daily with cultural. So I met him because of COVID. It was part of a group that he put together. Good to be seen and watched by Eric. Thank you for your visit with us today, Eric. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You talk about the 3P system behind profitable people first firms. I think we should talk a little bit about that before time runs out.
Thank you for bringing that up. And it was also part of the clarity piece. And when you look at a business, and whether it's, an accounting firm or any business, there's three things. There's people, there's processes, and there's profits. And when we go in to start to work with a business and we look at what their vision is or what they're trying to build, is that we want to get the client to get quick results so that they can get on the success train.
Yeah.
And it may not be profits first. It may be, well, we're having trouble keeping our people, or I'm having trouble keeping my clients. And it may be that the reason that they're not keeping their clients is because they don't have the processes in place, the rinse and repeat, the things that consistently get things done. So where to start with that is where the company is currently, or the firm is in need. It's usually with people, and it usually starts with the owner or the partners, and whether or not they are business leaders or entrepreneurs, and are they doing work for their client, for their staff, because it's easier for them to do it in 3 minutes than to take 10 minutes to teach their staff how to do it. And I see this constantly. So once the vision is built and the roadmap is built, that's where it goes. But it's the people, and the same reason that our employees stay is often the same reason our clients stay, because it's our culture, how we treat them, that we deliver on the promise. And once the system's in place, then you can support the increase in the profits, whether it's in your pricing structure, whether it's in reducing your costs, but making sure that the system is in place, that it's repeatable. And then this yourself, of course, with all the firms and companies you've worked with, is that if you don't have the systems in place, the owner can't lead. They get pulled in to the day-to-day. And if the systems are in place, then the owner has the opportunity to lead. So again, that comes back to the people and the processes. The profits come once you've got those two things in place. Because you're not spending your time fixing problems either, once you have the systems in place.
Yeah, and an old acronym that you reminded me of is SYSTEM, and it is save yourself, time, energy, and money. System. So when you have a system, it's replicatable. You talked about exit strategies. If you've got systems in place like a franchise, even though you may not be a franchise in your business, you might be a one-off mom and pop shop with some systems in place. It's more valuable to future buyers, and it's easier for people to know what's expected of them in the role that they have within your company and organization.
You bring a great point there, Phil, in that why do you buy a franchise? Well, the system's in place. It's the repeat. It works if
Yes.
you follow the system. Not all franchises work well, but for the most part, whether it's McDonald's or whether it's a Tim Hortons, that's that's it. It's you're buying the system, and if you're paying 5% lift in your gross revenue for that system, you might just want to consider that. But if you're not a franchise, the best thing you can do is build an internal franchise
Yeah.
within your own business.
Which is systematizing it. A
System.
friend of ours has written a book on that called, I forget, Ben Pritchett is the author.
Oh
And
my
the book
goodness,
is,
Ben, yes.
yeah, Systematize Your Business. I have the book. I can't think of the, anyway, he's all about systems. And he's been successful in several businesses at the same time, whether it be optometry, advertising, sign shop, whatever. Once upon a time, he was a business broker and a business plan writer. So he's done a variety of different things and different hats as a business owner, entrepreneur. And the key to everything is to have it systematized. There was something else you said, but I had as they say in the pub rooms, in a pub, I had a brain fart, so I forget what it was.
But we hear of business owners going, "I'm a serial entrepreneur." Oh, you are you? Well, I've got this going and this going, and upon asking questions, they're more like a host fly. They're hopping from here to here to
Yeah,
here, and a serial entrepreneur builds the systems. They can go and start another business and leave this because it can now run without them.
that's right.
That is a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah,
They've got the recipe to build and run businesses, and they're not there turning the dials. They've got the team managing the systems. And that to me is a serial entrepreneur.
yeah, I like that definition. You remind me of something else where we can get um, data, information, and and other ways to run our business. I was listening, or not I am listening to a book called Unreasonable Hospitality. And it's all around the restaurant world.
Oh my goodness.
But it's not exclusive to restaurateuring. Things like some of the chapters: hire the person, not the resume. Every hire sends a message. Build a culture. Bonfire. Make it cool to care. That's all applicable in any industry. So it's the experiences people have. The thing that we like about a franchise, I think you and I were talking about change. I can't remember if that was in a green room or if it was live on, and we're talking about the change. And
Yes.
what people don't like is change. When they go to a franchise restaurant of their favorite kind, if it's the same in Halifax as it is in New York City, as it is in Vancouver, then people are happy because they go there expecting to be treated a certain way with a certain level of product. I'm thinking restaurateurs at the moment. But if you go there and they've added something different, I don't like to change, right? So consistency is one of the things that people expect when they go somewhere.
But to succeed in business, we need to be consistent.
Yeah.
We could be brilliant. Okay, now we're going to bottle this brilliance. And how are we going to make this a habit? How are we going to make this work for us? And it's the courage to be able to do it. There is a recipe for success.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
People will read it, but till you implement and you do it.
Oh, you got to
There's
do
lots
it.
of recipes. You've got to do it. You actually have to step off the curb and go out and play in the traffic. And it can be a little scary, but you don't have to step off the curb if you know when to cross the street when the light is right, if you prepared yourself.
Yeah.
And as we talked about earlier, it's the fear of change. And I like to use the acronym, false evidence appearing real, is one of the things that I like to say all the time. But it's really, you've got to say to yourself, I'm worth it. I've put all this time and effort in, and likely a boatload of money to make this work. Miss too many soccer games or kids' birthday parties, to take the time to make it right. And ironically, change is front end loaded, right? They're going to go, and something I hear all the time. I don't have time to do this. I haven't got time to do this extra homework, to do these things. Oh, no. If you invest 10 hours now, you're going to get that 10 hours back in 2 to 3 weeks. And once you make that is like recurring interest. It just keeps building and building. That 10 hours you invested to make the change pays dividends in
Over
interest
and over
over a long period of time
and over.
and over.
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way, it's short-term pain for long-term gain. And if you believe in it, it's not pain.
No. No, I totally love that. I want to share, as long as I've set this up right, what am I going to share first? I'm going to share your LinkedIn post page.
Okay.
Oops, did I add it to the stage? Add to stage. Here we go. And I'm going to make us even smaller. Look at this. And we can talk, even though people can't see us. And it's really hard to see where that is. But watch, with the advent of technology magic, as I go to the right place and bring you up. There.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a LinkedIn connection of, if you've liked or want to get to know my buddy Paul better, you can go to LinkedIn and connect with him there. Read some stuff about him. It's really hard to read it on my screen up here. But when you go to your own monitor, there's that happy face and a few posts in this newsletter and other aspects of what he's all about. That's one place to hang out with Mr. Roy. But there's another place. Wait, I have just like that commercial. Wait, there's more. We talked about the 3 Ps. So let's go talk about the 3 Ps, because that's what we're here for. Get your life back. Work less, earn more, live better. ProfitablePracticePro.com. You can actually schedule now with him, or you can go and chat with him on LinkedIn, whatever you prefer. And you can learn more about this calm, assertive leader who leads with, what does I see? I wanted to repeat something from your bio, and it says, with faith, family, and without sacrificing your faith, your family, and your weekends. I love that.
Well, it's thank you for that. Yeah.
Hey, no worries. No worries at all. But now I'm going to bring it back together. I'm going to ask you a question. If there was something that you would like to share with audience members, a gem, what would you like to impart on them?
To invest in yourself. And it doesn't, you can take a bite, one bite at a time. If your goal is to own a big mansion on the ocean, there's steps you need to take to get on the way. But if owning the house on the ocean doesn't have little micro goals or micro steps to get there, it's unlikely, because it'll just always be out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
So break it down into bite-sized bits and have the courage to say, I'm going to do this, and execute on it.
I love that. I was just making notes. We could go on forever, I'm sure.
I'd like to add one more thing about this.
Okay, let's do that.
If I can, because when people look at entrepreneurs and I said, oh my God, the risk and what you do, I go, hold it now. You work for somebody else. You're the one that's taking the risk. They could fire you. We're going to move you to Lower Slobodia. That's part that comes with the territory. Or you could be self-employed. and be fully in control. So I would say that the business owners who do it right are in control, and the ones who are working for somebody else don't have the same level of control.
Yeah, that reminds me of a Jim Rohn quote. If I can remember, I'll recap the show with it.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant nugget. I appreciate you sharing your time and energy and your passion in the little 30-minute window we offer to the world. It was simply amazing.
I've enjoyed it as well. Thank you.
There you go. Micro goals. Debbie Adams is telling us she totally agrees with you. Thanks for popping in, Debbie. I appreciate that.
Debbie's a wonderful coach herself. So
excellent. Yeah, if you don't have something to look forward to, a goal, it's pretty hard to get there. And how do you know if you're moving towards it or away from it? One of the things I learned from my mentor, and it's an aeronautical expression, it's about the attitude. And attitude in a plane means that your nose is up or nose is down. And he said, you don't have an attitude until you set a goal. And is your goal, are you moving towards your goal or away from your goal? So in the case of an airplane, nose up is towards it, nose down is away from it, which is not necessarily accurate in the real world of flying, because sometimes the goal is to land. So that's okay too. But metaphorically speaking, once we set a goal, then we create an attitude. And are we moving towards it or away from it? He simplified it that way. Don't get caught up in the weeds like I just did. I didn't even need to bring that in there, but I did. So too late. You can't erase what I already said. So. Anyway.
It's been great fun. Really enjoyed our conversation.
Same here, buddy. And don't go away. I'll see you shortly. And thanks again for being an esteemed guest with great wisdom.
Thanks, Phil.
Okay, so I wrote a few notes while he was talking. Was the reminder of a system. Save yourself time, energy, and money. Systematize your business. It frees you up so that you have a choice whether you want to work on or in the business. It's your choice. It's your business. Do what you want to do. But set it up so that you can have choices instead of having to be head down, ass up, and always working in the business. Bite-sized bit goals to move towards a larger goal. And this thing that Jim Rohn quote, I cannot remember it, so I'm not going to try and, I don't want to mess it up. Jim Rohn was a philosopher king, an amazing character. He's no longer with us either, but if you wanted to find him, he is still there in the archives of YouTube. Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. In the meantime, I want to bring up one of my other favorite things from another mentor of mine, and it's this little image here. Right there. See that you? That's you. You're unique, and you are wonderful, as Val Vanderwall used to tell us. So continue acting out like your unique, wonderful self, and have a wonderful rest of the week and month and year, because you are wonderful. Until next time, I'm Coach Phil, the host of the Business Renovator. See you soon.
I get shit done, I have fun, it's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Well, that was interesting for sure. I had some crazy things going on. I was wrapping up the show, so I will continue to do that and do this properly. That was crazy bizarre. Anyway, here we go.
I get shit done, I have fun, it's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.